Howdy folks, and how are you today? Back here in front of Frank, and we're almost to the point to where we're getting ready to shoot some primer. Took the liberty to hand sand around here because I couldn't get anything down in there. I also hand sanded this, hand sanded in the steps, pretty much hand sanded all around the doors too, as you can see. I got most of that stuff off here, so I've got the silver stripe, just like how the blue truck is. I'd like to keep it like that if I could. Bring some of that out. Now there is some of this green stuff still in here in the door, which I plan on probably keeping just for shits and giggles. I don't know. I may sand it down the rest of the way. We'll just have to see. But I was at the store, and I gotta wash this thing down. I was at the store and I picked up some stuff, so I'll show you what's going on today once I come back. On the show, on the Chad Teagan YouTube channel. Since I've got pretty much everything sanded that I need to, besides a few little meticulous spots here and there, a few of the rivets I need to go over because they're kind of mucked up, and let's see if I can find one. Not that one's not too bad, but like this one right here, it's a little bit rusty, so I'm going to smooth those out a little bit and try to clean those up. That way I don't have any problems when I go to shoot the primer and stuff. But my issue is, when they shot this truck and when I brought it home and washed it for the very first time, all this stuff around the rivets started peeling off, and you can see that original paint. So then we've got this mucked up section right here to where we've got all that we need to fill. So I ran to the store and I bought a couple different kinds because this was cheaper. I went to Harbor Freight and I got this, and then I got a couple of these. So I've got 4 of these total, which I should be able to just do around those rivets no problem, because I'll just shoot in a circular motion, and I should be all right to fill that stuff in is what I'm hoping. I also picked this up that way it could make it easier for me to get the spots like you know, around the rivets and whatnot, and try to get in there with something a little bit smaller. This goes up to 240 grit. I should just be able to use that Scotch-Brite pad is what I'm hoping, and not have to use those and tear that up too much. Hopefully there's some there's some 240 grit sandpaper back here, so I should be able all right with that. And I also picked up a gallon of this primer. That way I can do the whole truck. So hopefully by the end of this weekend, the whole truck matches the garage here, and that's a primer gray, and then I'll be ready to, you know, do a final sand down with what I need to, probably everything by hand, you know, just to knock some of the stuff off if there's any imperfections, and try to smooth that out as good as possible. This doesn't look too bad. All this stuff is pretty much smooth, but like there's this kind of crap right here, and that's why I got that filler. So hopefully I can fill that kind of stuff. Now I was looking at this spot right here, and you really can't tell, but there is a bunch of like ripple right in here and stuff, and I tried to sand that down a little bit better, but it just wasn't happening, so I just figured piss on it. But yeah, as you can see, all of these rivets have got that to where that original paint's sticking out, and some of that stuff is super thick, so that's why I got that filler. And I don't know how well this is going to go, and if that's even going to take, but I did buy this metallic because I wanted to see how this would look. It's a dark steel, and I picked this up when I was going to just spray the original lines and leave the truck the color it was before I switched gears and stuff like that. And I shot a spot up there in the corner. Let's let me climb up there and I'll get you a little bit closer. That way we can get your eyes on that, and I can show you exactly what that would look like if I didn't fill that stuff in. Now, I don't know how well this is going to work out, but as you can see right here, get up in there, you can see that right there, and that's not something that I want for the truck. I would rather have that stuff filled in because, you know, even though that's painted, and I just shot this yesterday just to see how it would look and if I like the color and if that's something that I would want to go to. But this is actually a little bit darker than what I would want. It's not too bad, but I don't think I want the truck this dark of a silver. But it really doesn't look too bad. It's a metallic, but the sun is not out right now, so you can't really tell. So yeah, I still need to go around and, you know, clean some of this stuff up is what I'm talking about from the brackets, because I don't believe I'm going to take that off. I may just leave them on that way. You never know what's going to happen in the future with the truck, if I would run into some brackets or something, or if I would want to put them on or not. I guess it's just one of those things where, you know, it's extra work I don't want to do, but at the same time I should do it, but I'm not going to. But yeah, like you can see all this stuff. This is how this truck, when I first washed the truck, now there was paint completely all over this truck. The white was already painted, the white. The guy didn't do anything with that. He had just handed the green on, and it was super thick and it was just nasty, and you know all that, and that's how that color turned out. So I'll probably end up taking those discs and roughing all that stuff up too. That way I can shoot some primer. I got some rust stuff in there, that rust reformer, so hopefully that'll go over that and take care of it. If not, I mean, the truck is what it is. It's always going to be the Frankenstein truck. If shit doesn't end up sticking, and I blow some of it off when I pressure wash it, that's just what it is. It'll always be the Frankenstein truck, so I guess it'll just give it a little bit of character. So that's what's going on today. I know I'm just rambling and mumbling, but I'm just trying to give you some information of what I'm thinking and what I'm going to try to do to sex the truck up and make it a little bit better than what it is right now, because it's a lot of work and it's just never going to be perfect in my eyes. And I guess, you know, if someone else would to say something with an opinion, it's just what it is. If you want to go and do this, you're more than welcome to. It's not easy by any means. It is a lot of work. So that's what's up. Sporting the old SH Tube shirt out. And for all you guys that were commenting saying get a hold of Rob, I will get a hold of Rob when the time comes. I've got Rob's phone number. I know him personally. So I will get a hold of Rob when the time comes and I need to, and I'll get the stuff that I need to. Like, I'll probably see if I'm going to have him do me one of these up, but I got to figure out my stripes when I do them, because I don't want them cutting into this exactly. So I may have to come up a little bit higher. And if I do the whole BJ and the Bear scheme with the big sections, which I was thinking about doing, I'll just have to bend that up to where that doesn't cut into that at all. And then I'll have him, you know, I'll see what he can do with this, because this is kind of ratty. I need to take this off. Thought about that. But yeah, for the most part, I put the lights up. That way I could stand up there a little bit better. And that's the kind of stuff that nobody's really going to see unless you're up there. And nobody's probably going to get up there but me. So, you know, if there's imperfections, there's imperfections. But that's also why I brought that filler, so I could fill some of the spots. But I mean, other than that, the truck's pretty much ready to go. I just got to, you know, do a couple more things up on the other side, up in that region. I want to clean up around that top thing. And then I did all these by hand, all this stuff. And this is super pain in the ass to do. So and there's still runs back in here that I couldn't get. So maybe, you know, because I just take a disc, I'd cut it in half and I do that. And I've been doing a lot of stuff off camera because I just am it's daily, and some of the stuff, it's probably boring and I don't want to bore people, but it's what it is. I know people watch it regardless. At least 200 of them. So I did have some tape around the window from when I was seeing that, and I'm not sure. I'm thinking I may leave this stuff just for the fact that a conversation piece, because I don't really want to get in there. It's just so meticulous. This is so meticulous. It's not even funny. So I'm going to quit gabbing and probably turn you on some time lapse, and we'll get into some CNN and stuff, and I'll let you know how this stuff works out. Well, I got that truck prepped as much as I'm going to prep it, because honestly, I don't care anymore. I'm past the point of caring, so That's one of them things that happens with the blue truck running, because I'm going to move it here and I'm going to move the Cadillac and Grandma's truck out of the way. That way we don't get no overspray or anything on it. But tape that bad boy up. Took the grill and stuff off. Cleaned up around there a little bit. Got plastic over here covering this stuff. That way when I start shooting I don't make a big mess, hopefully. But that's washed. I washed that yesterday. I'm going to do a hand job real quick and just wipe it down. That way if there's any grime or anything on there from yesterday or today, bugs, whatever, I can get that off. Get those things out of the way and start doing it. Climb around and start shooting stuff. And see what happens, I guess. That's what we're at the point right now. We're ready to see what happens. There's like minimal wind right now. It's supposed to be 8 to 9 from the north, so what that big deal is coming this way. So it'd be shooting that way. I'm just going to move everything. That is going to probably go. God, that might go down there by the barn. I don't know yet. I could back it up all the way into the yard, but not sure. See, there's a little bit of wind right there. I mean, if I get anything in there, it ain't no big deal. I don't really care. Nobody's really going to see that. Besides, I'll probably do that whole frame again one of these days, so it's what it is. But yeah, I'm going to start shooting here some primer, or the filler at least, to try to fill these spots. We'll see how it goes. And then we got that gallon of primer over there, so we'll see what happens. Just let that thing build some air so I can get it moved and get all this crap out of the way so I can start doing it. It's taken me probably 5 hours to tape all that crap up, take that grill off. I didn't start until about 9. I think it's like 2:30 right now, so my koozie's empty, and I need to get something to drink because I'm ready to have a really good time, if you know what I mean. Well, shortly after I cut you out, I ran out. I may need to boogie the store real quick and get some more. Now from here it doesn't look too bad, but if you start to get up close, you can still see where some of those pits and stuff and that paint was chipped off under the around the rivets. And I honestly don't know if I'll ever be able to fix that completely. You can see the lines where that other paint was at and chipping off. So yeah, I'll get you in on that right there. See that rivet, how that is right there? I don't know if I'll ever be able to fill that. I mean, the stuff didn't shoot too bad around it. I do have some runs, which I'll sand all this stuff down and try to make it as presentable as possible. But it that stuff, man, my hand was cramping up. Obviously, you've seen me switch hands and stuff a bunch. But like, these rivets weren't too bad because that's that new panel. So they were pretty much okay. Some of the top were kind of rough, but I was up on the top trying to fill some cracks and stuff, and that's what I was spraying around the windows. That cheap stuff from Harbor Freight didn't do worth the shit, so I'll have to just get the Rust-Oleum filler and keep using that, because that was a lot thicker, it seemed like, and it didn't run quite as much, but it still did some. You can see how thin this stuff is right here, so that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get those filled in, some of those spots, but what I'm gonna do probably is go get some more and shoot over it lightly, or I'll sand that stuff down, because I did have a couple spots where it was bubbling up on me, which it did the last time, and I had spider webs on this thing like up the ass, and I should have wiped it. I should have did a complete wipe down before I ever started, but I didn't. I just wiped off the top because I knew there was shit on there, and then I got trigger happy and just started going. So it don't look too bad up top. I mean, I can still see some of the spots where the paint was missing and whatnot from here, so it's not like it's perfect. I really don't want to get Bondo if I don't have to and fill anything, because I just don't want to. Maybe I'm lazy, I don't know. Probably it could be part of it. Like right up in here, you see that. What I'm probably going to do is end up getting an airbrush gun and shooting black around those spots anyway, so it'll kind of all blend in and maybe go together, if you will. But yeah, pretty much all that blue's gone except for a few spots on the roof and whatnot. Everything from the back corners I covered up because I need the paint to stick, so that's why I sanded down into it, except for like that spot I didn't get it. But I was just trying to make sure I hit all the rivets before I ran out. And then I do got a few more spots, so I'd like to get at least 2 or 3 more cans just to be able to maybe 4 again, just to be able to go over it and make sure I've got enough and get this thing ready. So I'll probably do a lot of sanding tomorrow, and I'll probably all hand sand all that stuff around the rivets and whatnot and just be super careful. So that'll take me a while, and then I'll just clean the truck off and get the big spray out and spray it, because I mean, at the point right now, what else can I do? You know, I've worked on this enough. I don't want to continue doing it because I know it's not going to be perfect, since I'm not perfect and never will be. But that's trucking. Looks like the machine now is getting there. Well, it's the next morning, and just getting ready to knock some of this filler down by hand. That way I can smooth some of the spots out. I've got some runs here I've got to take care of, and some bubbles. Some of the spots around the rivets I need to attack. I'm going to do this by hand because I don't want to. I don't know. I may get the sander out. I doubt it, because I don't want to cut into too much. But Well, gone around and knocked all this filler and primer down here, and we've got a few ugly spots, which I thought to myself after talking to a few people down McCord, especially because I was talking to James Pretty yesterday, and I was telling him about how all these rivets were, and he told me to get some glaze to fill those in, and I thought, you know, it's a lot of work and I don't really want to do that. So I was talking to Don and I showed him that, and he's like, well, if it was perfect, it wouldn't be the Frankenstein. And I've stated that before, and that's the case. So all the runs that I've got from, you know, trying to use that filler and make things better, which it didn't really do too much, we're just going to leave how it is because I've got a plan. And I like to be creative, so what I need to do now that I just went around by hand and knocked it all down. I did use the sander on some of these spots just to see how it would go, and then I just went over it by hand still just to hit a few things because I wanted to just get around the rivets, but I didn't want to use that sander and get too much. Like, I've got a ton of runs in here, which is fine. Not too mad about it. If I wanted to, I could take that sander and run down through that stuff real quick just to smooth it out, but I don't think I'm going to because I don't mind imperfections as long as they're smooth, and it'll give it a little bit of character, if you know what I mean. So that's what we're going to go for, is character, because the truck still needs character. It doesn't need to be perfect. Some of my tape's peeling off because that green tape's kind of shitty, but it's what it is. So basically what I'm going to do is I need to run to town and get a longer airline because I think I've only got 25 foot of hose. So I need to get about 100 foot. That way I can run my big compressor with the hose. That way I can shoot this. But I need to get up there and wipe it all down. So I'm going to get a wet rag and a dry rag and wipe it down like I was giving. Basically going to give the truck a horse bath, if you will, because that's what I would do if I was out. You know what I mean? And the thing was dirty. So the wind's switching on me. So it's coming this way, moving my plastic. But I'll fix that before I do any spraying. But I do plan on spraying this thing with the whole truck with primer. That filler was just try to, you know what I mean, do some stuff, which I may have caused some more problems with some of those runs, but that's truck and that's what it is. Nothing is ever going to be perfect in my book. If I wanted this thing perfect, I would have stripped it down to bare metal and went from there, but I didn't. So that's just what it is. I mean, it's my truck. I'll do what I want to with it, right? So whether you like it or not, it's your opinion. It doesn't have to be perfect to me. Shouldn't have to be perfect to you. If it should, go buy your own and do it yourself, because this is a lot of work. I was texting Tim earlier and I said, man, nobody said this was going to be easy. And he's like, man, it's a lot of work. And I'm like, you ain't lying, dude. If it wasn't, everybody'd be doing it, if you know what I mean. So we'll see what happens. One thing to the next. But yeah, I need to sex up some of my tape job, or just be careful when I spray. That way I don't get primer in some of the places since that cheap tape's peeling off. But it's what it is. So I'm going to do it anyways. And I'll clean up whatever I need to with a razor blade if it gets on the glass up there at the top or anything like that. I'm not really too worried about this glass. I just covered it because that way I can see out of it if I need to move it around or anything like that. I don't have to take too much time cleaning it. But other than that, everything else is cool. So we'll see what happens. Well, I'm finally done. That's what I do with these guns. I take this shit right here and I'll throw it right in the trash because it was like 20 bucks and those things don't clean up and they don't really work for shit either, but it's done. So that's what matters. It's all one solid color. And that thing, man, it started jamming up at the end. It was horrible. The back was getting major spots. It kept on dulling up on me. I'd get it to break free, and then next thing you know, I'd be splattering that thing all over the place. But at least it's one solid color. This stuff laid on like bed liner, which I was shocking, but it was super thick. Who knows how long that shit sat on the shelf, to be honest with you. It probably sat on that shelf for a hot ass minute because it was super dusty. And it was like, whoa, thick. It took me probably 20 minutes to get it mixed up by hand before I could even start, you know, even think about putting that stuff in that gun. But it's what it is. It's not too bad. I could take the plastic off now and get rid of it. And then take all that tape and shit off because it's going to need another sand before anything happens. So that's what it is. But yeah, it's different. And I still have some primer left, so if I want to shoot that box I can, but I'll probably just sand it down and then paint it a different color, probably black like the frame. And then I'll have to do those bars and shit again because they got a little bit of splatter on them. A little bit of splatter here and there, nothing too major, but I mean, for what it is, it filled some of those holes a lot better than what I thought. A lot of those imperfections I was worried about. Oh, I took that stuff kind of away, but yeah, it's you can see and hear that it's rough, so it's gonna need another sand job because there ain't no way in hell I'm painting anything over like that and getting it smooth. But yeah, you can still see some of the runs in there. I thought it was doing okay, but you know, it's what it is. You need the little nicks and cracks it took care of, but it's what it is. So at least it's one color again. Yeah, it's like bed liner. It's insane. Insanity. So the whole thing's gonna need another sand job, if you know what I mean. So till the next time, if you like, share, subscribe, and that's gonna be it for this one because I'm done. I'm toast. And I need a cold one in a shower, if you know what I mean. Say goodbye, Frankenstein.